Here we go. Hi guys, thanks for watching my video. I just wanted to share with you some things that I know have been on your mind, my thoughts on a few things that I know you guys have been talking about. And it's so much information, I didn't want to type it all out in an email. I thought I would just put it in a video and send you the link so you can watch it. I know a lot of you have questions about unemployment. First of all, I have also applied for unemployment. So I'm in the same boat that all of you are. And I want you to know that I'm keeping up with it and I will let you know anything that I hear from my perspective. But there are some things that I want you to think about when you're thinking about your unemployment. First of all, the state of Indiana, up until the coronavirus, before that, had a 1 week wait period for unemployment, meaning you had to have been unemployed for at least a week before you were eligible to start getting your benefits. That 1 week wait period has been eliminated. It's been waived by an executive order that was signed by our governor. And that happened either last week or the week before. So hopefully you can imagine, we currently have a website that has for years been designed to calculate the difference between the day you were actually off of work and the day that you're eligible for unemployment. There's date triggers in the website and it's supposed to calculate that difference, that 1 week difference before they start paying you. So because of this executive order, there are entire portions of the website that have to be completely rewritten. The program has to be retooled to allow for that benefit clause to immediately kick in. That's a big job. Secondly, the state of Indiana has a maximum amount of benefits that you're allowed to draw, and that weekly maximum is $390. If your calculated benefits come in less than that, then you get what you're entitled to. But if your calculated benefits come in as more than $390 for the week, then there's a cap and you only get the $390. The federal government enacted a law just last Friday the 20th, just one working day ago, that provides federal dollars to supplement state unemployment dollars, so that if you are entitled, based on your calculation, to draw more than $390, it's possible that you may be able to get even more money. Well, this news came to the state of Indiana and all the other states as well. And so now the state of Indiana website is having to be rewritten to accommodate this extra funding as well. It's not the Indiana money. It's federal money, and the federal money is going to be distributed by the states. So what the federal government has done has said, we're going to give you all this money. State of Indiana, you got to figure out how to give it to your people. So the state is having to jump through a lot of hoops to get this figured out. They're having to retool their website, and all the applications are online. So everybody's applying online. They're having to change the way the program is written so that not only can you begin getting your benefits immediately, but also so that you can get the maximum amount you're entitled to, which could possibly include some federal dollars. So you may be getting even more money than is showing on the website right now. This is a huge job. It's a really big job for the state to have to retool their website. Honestly, I'm pretty impressed with how smoothly the website runs. And the only thing I can tell you is to be patient. It's really important for you to just be patient. It's going to take some time for you to start getting your benefit checks. I want to read you something that I found on the state's website. And let me find it. I'm going to read it to you so that you know exactly where the state is in this whole thing. So the Indiana Unemployment Frequently Asked Questions portion of the website says, when will I receive my first unemployment insurance payment? That's one of the frequently asked questions. When will I receive my first unemployment insurance payment? The answer on their website is, you should receive your first payment within 3 weeks if there are no issues with your initial claim application. So, 3 weeks from when you initially filed that very first claim, that's when you can expect to get your first payment. So for none of us has it been 3 weeks yet. So all of us are fine. Nothing is wrong with your application. It's just that there's so many people wanting to get their benefits that it's taking some time to make it happen. So you're going to get your money, and it's going to be okay. I promise you. I do want to just make sure, though, that... Sorry, did you think I wasn't coming back? I'm here. Here I am. It says you should receive your first payment within 3 weeks if there's no issues with your initial claim. I just want to make sure all of you have no issues with your initial claim. I want to make sure everything's looking okay for your initial claims. When you first logged onto the website, the Uplink website, you should have created your account and filed what's called an initial claim. I want you all to make sure that your initial claim is okay. It's time for handouts. It's Karen's famous handouts. Now, since you're not here with me, I'm just going to hold them up to the camera and show you them. When you go to the website, I want you to go to where it says Claim Homepage. Got it? Claim Homepage. Then I want you to click on this button that says Correspondence History. Correspondence History. When you click on that button that says Correspondence History, it should take you to a page that has all of your correspondence. Your initial application should be listed there. Most of you probably filled it out on the 18th or the 19th or the 20th. Then I want you to make sure that you have a line item on your correspondence that says Claimant Monetary Determination. Claimant Monetary Determination. That's where the state looked at your initial application and they calculated how much you're entitled to. I want you to click on that and open it up. You may also have received this in the mail. You're going to see a paper there that looks like this. At the top, it says Monetary Determination of Eligibility. Monetary Determination of Eligibility. I want you to open that and I want you to look at it. If you look down on this paper, if you look down here to where it says, based on the earnings in the chart of wages, your weekly benefit amount is listed below. Make sure that you have something right there, okay? Make sure you have a dollar amount right there. If you do, that means everything is fine. Everything is fine with your claim. Now, if there's a problem with this sheet, then you have a problem. But I want you to open this and look at it and make sure that you have a dollar amount listed there. If you do, then you will eventually be getting your benefits. So far, so good? All right. One more thing about unemployment. I just want you all to remember, too, that all of you all got a paycheck 9 days ago. So there shouldn't be any reason why any of you are financially strapped yet due to being unemployed from Hartman Dental. Now, I know some of you have spouses or whatever who are out of work, and there's other reasons why you may be cash strapped. But the system isn't intended to kick in so quickly. The state knows that you just got paid last Friday. The state knows how much you got paid, and they know when you last got paid. So none of you should really be pinched for money because of Hartman Dental. Give the system some time to work. Let it do what it's supposed to do. I will be checking on unemployment, and I will be giving you some more updates as I know them and as they become available. One more thing. We did not deny unemployment to anyone. We have record of all of you all filing for unemployment, and we did not deny unemployment for anyone. And I told you I wasn't going to, and we didn't. The good news is that it's not going to adversely affect Hartman Dental. So that's wonderful. I mean, we've been paying into the unemployment system for over 25 years, and we have never had a claim. So this is a portion of our system that's here for us, and we want to use it when we need it. And now is the time that we need it. So we're going to use it. So thank you all for filing your claims. And I hope that it ends up being fruitful for you and it gives you enough money to kind of help you get by. Second thing I want to talk about. I want to talk about this legislation that's called the Family First Act. I'm going to get some of my papers out and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about this legislation that's out there. Thank you all for your patience. Perhaps I should have been a little bit more organized. I'll be right back. All right. So there is a law that was signed by the president on March the 18th. It was actually the first day that we were all unemployed, March the 18th. And it's called the Families First Coronavirus Response Act. It is not the law that was just signed last week. That's something completely and totally different. The Family First Coronavirus Response Act was signed by the president on March 18th, sorry. Now, just a quick little civics lesson for those of you who need a brush up on your civics. When a law is enacted by Congress and signed by the president, it's a mandate for certain things to happen in our country. But the law doesn't usually provide the how-tos. How is this going to happen? If dollars are supposed to be distributed, it doesn't necessarily say when the checks are going to be cut and how they're going to be calculated. If things are going to be changed in laws, it doesn't necessarily say how those laws are going to be rewritten, what committees are going to be responsible. There's a lot of things that have to happen after a law is signed before it can actually begin to be enforced. Also, there's going to be parts of the law, no matter how quickly or how carefully they try to vet it, no matter how carefully they read it and try to make sure they've got all their bases covered, there's always going to be parts of a law that people are going to ask questions about. There's going to be special interest groups, lobby groups, private citizens that have unique special situations, and they're going to say, wait a minute, how does this apply to me? And there's going to be things that need to be considered. There's going to be questions that have to be answered. There's going to be agencies that have to figure out how the parts of the law that affect them are supposed to come about. So just because this law was passed almost 2 weeks ago doesn't mean that it's actually active yet. And what I have found in my research is that the Families First Coronavirus Response Act is going to become effective April 1st, which is still a few days from now. So let me give you a little bit of a lowdown on what this Families First Act is. Some of you may have heard something about it in the news. You may have read some things on Facebook or seen some blogs about it. And just so you know, just as a side note, I don't believe anything that I see in the news. I don't believe anything I see on Facebook. I don't believe anything that appears on the side of my machine as a pop-up ad on my computer. I don't even believe things that I read from CNN or C-SPAN or NBC or the Wall Street Journal, because those mainstream news organizations are programmed. They're designed to condense news into 30-second news bites. And they often, while they do have accurate information, they don't have all of the information. They don't have the whole picture. So what I've done is I actually went to the U.S. Department of Labor's website. I like to read the government websites and I like to read the laws. I know I'm a dork. It's fine. And I actually went to the U.S. Department of Labor's website and pulled off all of their frequently asked questions about this law just to make sure that I understand exactly how it works. And I'm going to share some pieces of it with you. This law is enacted so that people who are diagnosed with COVID-19, who are sick with COVID-19, they think they are and they're awaiting diagnosis, they are quarantined because of a state order or a health provider order or a local order that says that they have to shelter in place. They're required to stay home to care for their children because for whatever reason their children's school is closed, their children's daycare is closed, for whatever reason their children are home and they have to be supervised. This act is supposed to provide some monetary relief for those different covered groups. And this law applies to all employers under 500. So on the surface, you would think that it would apply to Hartman Dental. But there's something we have to understand about this law and why it was originally even envisioned. This law is designed to cover people whose employers are still open and things are still happening. But because that person can't be there, they're missing out on their paycheck. This law is for people that work at grocery stores, the Walmart. They maybe even work at a privately owned hospital that's less than 500 employees, and it's still open, and there's plenty of work that needs to be done, but an individual can't go in because they're sick, or because they have to stay home with their kids and take care of them because their schools are closed. That's what this law is designed to do. And basically what it does is it provides dollars for those employees. Depending on what category they fall in, they might receive 2/3 of what they usually would make, or they might receive 100% of what they usually make. But this law doesn't apply to us. This law does not apply to Hartman Dental, and I'm going to tell you why. 2 reasons. Well, actually 3 reasons. First of all, there is an exemption in this law for small employers under 50. And I'm just going to actually read exactly what was on the Department of Labor's website so that you'll know exactly what it says. The question is, if I'm a small employer with fewer than 50 employees, am I exempt from the requirements to provide this paid sick leave or this expanded family medical leave? And the answer is, a small business is exempt if providing employees such leave as is described would jeopardize the viability of the business as a going concern. This means a small business is exempt from this mandated paid sick leave if the provision would result in the small business's expenses and financial obligations exceeding the available business revenues and cause the small business to cease operating. If I had to pay all of you all your salaries for the next few months, that's what would happen to us. We would go out of business. We would not have enough money to cover all your salaries. So that exception applies to us, first of all. Secondly, though, I want to read you something else that applies to us regarding this law. The timing is crucial here. This law, even though it was signed by the president on March the 18th, it actually becomes effective. It goes into action starting April 1st. The question here that's a frequently asked question on the Department of Labor website is, if my employer closed my worksite prior to April 1st of 2020, can I still get this paid sick leave or this expanded Family Medical Leave Act? And the answer is no. If prior to this law's effective date, April 1st, 2020, your employer sent you home and stopped paying you because it does not have any work for you to do, you do not get paid sick leave or expanded family medical leave, but you may be eligible for unemployment insurance benefits. This is true whether your employer closes your worksite for lack of business or because it's required to close pursuant to a federal, a state, or a local directive. So that covers us right there. The Family First Coronavirus Protection Act just doesn't apply to us. And I know that on the surface it sounds like it could be a pretty cool opportunity, because not only could I pay you, but I could still get reimbursed maybe for some of those dollars. But it's really kind of a too good to be true situation for somebody like us, for an employer of our size. So that information that you may have been reading about that act doesn't apply to us, and that's not going to be happening with us. So I wanted to clarify that and make sure that that's out there. The best thing we can do right now is to file for unemployment, to take advantage of that program, because as I said, we've been paying into it as an employer for over 25 years. You all as employees of Hartman Dental are entitled to unemployment, and I urge you to file for it if you haven't already. I think you have already all filed. And just be patient. You should start getting your checks soon. So those are a couple things that I know that have been on your mind, and I wanted to put this up there so that we could talk about it. And I know that we haven't really been talking. It's been me talking and you listening. But that's where I stand on unemployment and on Family First. I'm going to take a break now, and I'm going to put up another video probably tomorrow that talks about a few other things that have been on my mind. So that's it for now, and thanks for watching.